new season is nearly underway, but of course we're back with the Rangers Report. I'm joined as always by Andy Sinton to my left. This week we're delighted to be joined by defender Jimmy Dunne. Both of you, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, good to be here.
First of all, how was the summer? You're both looking very tanned, very relaxed.
Well, from my point of view, really good summer, a nice break. Watched a lot of sport, but like any fan up and down the country, can't wait for Saturday and the championship to get underway again.
Jimmy, yourself?
Yeah, long summer, long pre-season. It's felt like it's going on forever. I don't think we're ever going to get here. But finally, referees meeting today, that's always a sign that we're close. So, yeah, West Brom, let's go. Finally, we're in it.
This is the Rangers Report. Of course, you can join us on all channels, all platforms that you get your podcast on. So make sure you stay tuned throughout the season. So first of all, Jimmy, you mentioned pre-season. What's it like?
Yeah, I just said there, it's felt like a lifetime. You know, we've had a couple of tough games as well. We played some really good sides the last couple of weeks that have shown us some, you know, how football should be played at times as well, haven't they? So Brighton and Tottenham particularly have been really, really good. But a lot of things we've been working on, we're getting better at, and I think we're really prepared for Saturday. So
this is your fourth now here at QPR. How have they varied throughout the years?
Yeah, absolute roller coaster at QPR as we like it. You know, obviously there's been a lot of managers in, different styles of football. I think we've definitely found a style that suits us, and we showed at the end of last season how well we can do and what we're actually capable of. So it's all about continuing on the form, isn't it?
And since Beck put your playing shirt back on, what was it like for pre-season for you? We've noticed an increase in sort of the sports science side of things, but back when Jerry Francis, Don Howe was manager, what was it like?
Well, as a player, you go away in the summer, you want your break, but you know your comeback date, you know it's going to be tough. Jimmy, you know, you're preparing yourself, you know it's going to be hard physically, mentally, you know there's going to be longer days than normal, you're going to be taken out your normal surroundings, there's going to be trips abroad, there's going to be pre-season games where you're playing in front of half-empty stadiums at training grounds with no one there, but that's all geared up for the start. So as a player, I used to really enjoy pre-season. I say enjoy it because I just used to see the end goal. And I know Jimmy said this one seemed like an awful long time, but from the day you come back, you're looking forward to that big kickoff.
And you did a lot of work in the off-season as well, didn't you? How important was that for you?
I think for me, just because of the physical output that the new position has kind of had on me, I've had to lose a few pounds for it, you know, to be able to get up and down the wing, and yeah, just to get used to that kind of that continuous running. At centre half, you kind of do your action, and it might be a couple of minutes before you're going flat to the mat again, and then at full back a couple of times last season, my heart rate was through the roof for like 45 minutes. So I've had to try and get myself ready for that.
And since you were talking off camera, you were mentioning about Richmond Park and a few runs that you used to do up there. Is that something that the lads should sort of bring back?
That has changed because, you know, you got the sports scientist element in.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more, certainly in the first couple of weeks, done with the ball, which I think it should be. But yeah, you mentioned, you know, under certain manager, we spent 3-4 days at Richmond Park, up and down the hills, absolutely fine. Under Jerry Francis, the great Jerry Francis, we used to do the Terror Tuesdays. But you know what, I just used to take it as it comes. Whatever we were doing, did it, got on with it.
Terror Tuesdays? What was that?
Terror Tuesdays, where you never saw a ball on a Tuesday. So
just run like
just
crazy.
Run.
Before GPSs.
Box to boxes, before GPSs, all on the clock, everyone together. It was tough. But again, you know, it built... You're running together, so you'd be dragging me along, or I'd be dragging someone else along, and that's where you get your camaraderie. That's where you get your determination as a group to pull you through when it's needed, when the season starts. So I used to quite like it, just whatever it was, head down, get it done.
And we had the games as well that you mentioned, the tough opponents that we played, Tottenham and Brighton most noticeably. What have you taken away from them?
Modern style of football, fullbacks really, really inverted. They've got like 5 or 6 players playing in the pocket. Like there was a time where a number 10 or a false 9 was like alien, and now we've got everybody playing inside the game and playing 5 or
As a
6 yards
defender,
away from
Jimmy,
each other.
I know the answer, but I'm just asking, as a defender or certainly as a fullback, does that test you more mentally as well as physically?
I think so, yeah. I think it's definitely a game of chess now more than ever. And you still try and hold on to the principles, force them out wide, but they're trying to overload the middle of the pitch, and they're literally good enough now to pop all the way through the middle, and they don't really need to go out wide for a cross anymore. And a bit like Tottenham's goal came right through the middle of us. So I think it's a really, really good test. Obviously, the teams we're going to be playing against this season hopefully won't be as good as that. But I think that's how you test yourselves and how you get ready.
100%.
If we focus more on yourself, the position, what do we want to call you now? The Irish Cafu has been branded around on social media. Is that
I'll leave
what
that
we
to you lot.
So how did that sort of come about, that move to right back? Did Marty speak to you about it, or?
No, not much. It was the Bristol City game. I played first fullback, and it was just a real shift. They had a lot of the ball in that game, and we spent the second half really defending them. I know you went up for that one, Andy, and it was a lot of it was tough, and I just tried to grind it out. I think it suits me. I think it allows me to get on the ball more than what I previously probably got credit for. So I'm just enjoying it, to be honest.
And you mentioned, since we were talking about it, it shows literally exactly that the technical ability that you do have. If you're not.
I think Jimmy predominantly, he came as a centre back and he's played most of his career there. But that shift to right back, he's just said it. I think it allows him to show the technical qualities that he's got more so in a wider position than you have as a centre back. You mentioned also the physical aspects, the running. When I was at a previous club, we had a coach that came in and used to give different positions, different runs. And for the first time, we used to go, why am I doing more running than him? Yeah. Why is a wide player, am I doing more running than the centre back? Well, if you probably got the data and the stats, that's where you do the most running. So it's all position related.
And we're talking about technical ability. That goal against Birmingham, still, I'm sure every QPR fan's watched it all summer, haven't they?
Yeah,
the lads. Through it one last time.
I don't think I can talk about it anymore. The lads are they're sick of hearing about it, especially Jack Colback. It got showed in the meeting again recently, and he's just not happy with it. That's a lovely moment, kind of, because of where we were last season, and to get a goal, but obviously in such an emphatic sense. It was brilliant. So I've obviously.
I think that was everything, wasn't it? It was
it's the timing,
the technique, the timing of the goal, the importance of the goal against opposition in and around us, and I think that's why the stadium and I erupted at the time when it went.
Since the commentary enjoyed it a lot alongside Tyler.
I'm right behind you. When you chested it and went on your left foot when you hit it, it was in.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it was so late in the game. I was kind of full of confidence. And I felt like really desperate to win that game. Like we had so many draws.
You won the first header, didn't you? You won the first header, came back. Boom.
It's great to see Loftus blow up like that as well. It's unbelievable when it's like that.
There was a few games, wasn't there, at the end of last season? The Birmingham game, West Brom, which I think we'll mention in a bit, but Leeds as well. Everyone's mentions about the atmosphere at Loftus Road, but how does it impact you when you can feel the fans shouting right from the sideline as you taking a throw-in? It must be in your ear.
The most enjoyable way to play for me at Loftus is when you can feel a goal coming. It's like when we're building something like corner after corner, and we did it against West Brom last season, where we were 2-1 down, and it was like we were just building an atmosphere. It's nearly better than scoring sometimes. It's like, and then when it finally goes in, it's just the best. They love it, don't they? And it's so much fun.
Since you've scored a few goals in front of the loft, it must be an unbelievable feeling when that ball hits the back of the net. Well,
like Jimmy said, I remember Loftus Road being packed. I remember them spurring you on it. It does make a difference as a player, when you're playing in a team and they're with you and you're pouring forward. You mentioned the West Brom game last year. I thought that was an unbelievable performance. It was a great night for QPR. We paid tribute to the great Stan Bowles. The team, I thought, put on an amazing performance. It had everything. I remember saying after the game it was a point, but for me it felt more than a point, the way we played. I think from that moment I sensed the fans were right behind the boys and probably really thought we could get out of the trouble that we were in.
And do you think, Jimmy, as well, your goal scoring attributes is something this year that you want to build on? And you obviously had that goal. You mentioned in Spain, the goal you scored in the Premier League as well. Is that something that you?
You're hanging me out to dry. I've always chipped in with a couple. Last season, only one goal I think is the lowest I've had.
You've got quite a few assists as well.
Yeah, I've always chipped in, but I think I'm waiting for that season where like 5, 6, 7 really go in, because last season I had like off the crossbar and keeper save and stuff, and I didn't feel like they were. I think that's maybe where we were at last season. It felt a little bit like that. So I'm waiting for this season where they're just goals galore.
And there's been a few changes. We've seen a few of the new lads come in, but for you as well, do you feel like you've sort of transitioned into one of the more experienced lads this season?
Yeah, it's just happened out of nowhere. I still trying to have as much fun around the place as I when I was 23 and when I came in. But yeah, 4th season at QPR, it feels like home. It is home, and it's funny how new boys coming in now see me as an experienced player, where to me I'm the same as what I was when I came in 3 or 4 years ago.
Is that the same for you since when that sort of moment that you?
I don't think you talk about becoming experienced. I don't think there's a cut off in age. I don't think there's a cut off in games. I think it's a thing that naturally happens. You become more confident in yourself and your own game, and you pass it on to your teammates. You've been young yourself. You've seen youngsters or new players come into a dressing room, because that's difficult. And I think it just gets to a point where naturally you can go out of your way to help your new teammates settle in. And I think that's really, really important.
You had a few role models, didn't you, in your playing career that helped you early on, and then that experience that you got from them, you sort of passed on.
I remember coming to QPR. Walked in. I've stepped up 2 divisions. Come for a fee. You're not quite sure. You think you can do it, but you need people in the dressing room to welcome you. The late and the great Alan MacDonald was brilliant for that. Peter Reid had played for England at the time. He was there, and he sort of welcomes you in and says, "Believe in yourself. That's why we've signed you," and that can go a hell of a long way to helping you settle into a new environment.
And we saw the initiation songs out in Spain. What was your initiation song back in the day when you signed a few years ago, Jim?
I sang Westlife, a Westlife song, World of Our Own. I don't think there's a video clip of it, but
Any good?
You'd be surprised. Top. But I like the initiation. A few people say it's more awkward watching it than even doing it. They don't want to do it. But this year in Spain was brilliant. It actually brings the new guys together and it gets them out of their shell a little bit. The only other thing better than is just playing a game with the lads. That's singing and just playing with us is the best way to get comfortable. But there was some interesting ones. I don't think we've seen. Obviously, the new lad, Jonathan, needs to do one, and Heverton. I'm not sure we've seen Heverton, but I'll let you know.
We'll keep that behind closed doors, I think. So moving on to obviously West Brom, first up on Saturday. Excited for it?
I can't wait. As a player, I've said already. You spend all pre-season. That's the date. That's the game you've got in your mind. I think everyone connected to QPR goes into Saturday full of optimism because of the way we finished. Really excited about watching the boys play, and a full house down at Loftus Road again. But we'll temper that, because we did so great at the end of last season. Expectations gone up a little bit, so just need to monitor that. We'll just strive to be as best we can be, or the lads will strive to be as best they can be every time they train, every time they play, regardless of the opposition. And the fans will get behind us. But can't wait to see the guys again.
And Jimmy as well, West Brom?
I can't put it much better than that, obviously, Andy. But like I said before, the pre-season has really made us eager to just start the season and really go. And we've learned a lot. We've had a lot of time to implement what the gaffer wants. And I think I sensed from training just today that the lads just want kick-off to be right now. So we're definitely going to go for it.
I feel like a little kid waiting for Christmas when it's on Friday night. It's like Christmas Eve, isn't it? Waiting for it.
Yeah. It's so exciting, and because we didn't have all the fans at the Brighton game, for me in particular, I'm just looking forward to seeing a real buzz around Loftus.
I think just building on that, as I look back at it as a player, you're really excited to go into a new season. You set your own sort of, whether you tell people what they are or inwardly, you have your own goals, your own ambitions as a team. You've got your own what you want from the season. First game of the season and the first 5 or 6 games of the season, you have all the training in the world. You can have a good pre-season in terms of results or a bad one in terms of results. That really doesn't count for anything, because for the first game, you never quite know what you're going to get individually, collectively as a team. So yeah, there's a mixture of excitement, a little bit of apprehension, but bring it on.
You have quite a good record opening days, didn't you, since back in your QPR days?
Yeah, QPR, I think the four and a half seasons, so 4 pre-seasons, I don't think we were beat.
Oh, really?
No pressure, Jimmy. No.
It's an unbelievable stat.
Yeah, so I think we played against, I think we beat Palace on the opening day, drew at Arsenal, drew at Notts Forest, then obviously drew at Man City.
The Man City game is the one everyone thinks of, the first goal on Monday night, wasn't it? Andy Sinton on the left top corner.
Wasn't a bad one, was it? It was a bit like
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Jimmy's left foot. No special memories. It's probably, I wouldn't say it was my best one, but it's the one that's most watched because of the first Monday night on Sky TV, live in front of the nation. So, yeah, great memories.
Well,
And just obviously before we move on to the West Brom game and the start of the new season, a chance to just sort of look back and reflect on the people who won't be joining us this season, since there's a few things you want to mention.
Yeah, well, everyone looks forward to the new season with optimism, but there will be families who'll be coming on Saturday. Very sadly, they won't be with their loved ones. So we as a club, we recognise that. We thank everyone that's no longer with us for their incredible support, young and old, and the thoughts of everyone, players, staff, behind the scenes, and the rest of the fans are with everyone who are going to be experiencing that occasion, because when they come to the game on Saturday, they're coming to support their team, but maybe there's a seat alongside them that's not going to be filled by someone they love. So we're with you.
And of course, on a personal note, my dad won't be joining us for the first time in 40, 50 odd years. So I always knew that someone that watched the Rangers Report would be my dad. So if there was one viewer, it would be him. So Dad, hopefully this season's for you. And bring on West Brom. And this is it. Optimism for the new season.
Yeah, come on yours.
Lads, thank you for joining me today.
thank you very much.
And we'll bring on the Rangers Report. Come on yours.